And if your wheels are not turning, then you're not earning. So you want to utilize time management, because the number one culprit to why truck drivers are not top wage earners is because. What's good, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to 18 Willing and Dealing. I am your host, Sport Mode, and today we're going to be diving into 5 tips that I put together that can help you become a top wage earner when it comes to the world of truck driving. I know a lot of guys is complaining about the industry right now, but the reality of it is everybody not going through the same thing. Some guys are still doing quite well, and I can guarantee it probably got to do with these 5 reasons. So let's go ahead and tune in. Yo. Starting us out with tip number 1, I would have to say mindset. And I can't stress this enough. Your mindset is probably the most important thing that you can bring to the table in the world of truck driving. When I first started, I wasn't making a lot of money. To be honest, my first few years, I wasn't making a lot of money. It was more money than I was accustomed to making. And we still had the benefits of being able to get paid every week. But, when I would be on YouTube and I'd be watching other truck drivers and seeing the type of income that they was bringing in, I noticed immediately that my income was completely different, and I didn't understand what it was that was separating us. So mindset is number 1. And what I mean by that is truck driving is not just a job. So as long as you only look at it as a job, you're going to be limited as to how you can perform. It wasn't until I realized that my CDL was my trade. It was my profession. That's when I began to take off, because when you understand that this is a trade, when you understand that this is a profession, then that obviously leads to getting better, getting more qualified, getting more proficient at what it is that you do. And once you lock that in, you'll be amazed at how many guys that drive trucks for many, many years who still don't realize that your license is your means to your professional outcome, if that makes sense. So mindset, the better you can do this job, the better job you can get, the better income you can generate. So you can't just see it as a job. You have to see it as a trade, so that you spend time actually perfecting your craft, so that you can be qualified and go to the jobs that don't really want to take risks or take chances on guys that's just going to hold a steering wheel. They're looking for professionals. They're looking for a skill set and attributes and characteristics that reflect that. So as long as you put tip number 1 into play, that alone will change your income, and that'll allow you to become a top wage earner. So we're going to be moving on. Tip number 2, I would have to say, is skill set. Now, whether you like it or not, when it comes to truck driving, man, it's levels to it. That's just the reality of it. It's levels to it. So whether you drive in dry van, flatbed, reefer, bucket trucks, containers, tanker, box trucks, overdimension, heavy haul, like it come in so many shapes, forms, and sizes, and different approaches, to where everybody can be a part of truck driving. It's really up to you as far as how you want to do things. You can do hot shot, you can do owner operator, you can do company driver, you can do lease driver. It's just, sky's literally the limit. But one of the things that my experience have taught me is that every trailer has its day. Every trailer has its season. Sometimes the best thing that you can haul will be dry van, and sometimes the best thing you can haul can be something completely else, right? Or something else completely. Anyway, but the point that I'm making is that every trailer has its season. So what that means is when one trade or trailer or commodity completely dries up, the guys who keep earning money is the guys who can pivot and sidestep into another skill, right? So, some guys will drive dry van, and once dry van get a little too tight or become too saturated, they flip over to flatbed, right? So you don't want to limit yourself to just only one type of driving skill. You want to expand your horizons so that you're never limited by what you can do. So a lot of times when I thought that I was going through a hard time, it was actually a blessing because it opened up the door for me to go learn another skill set so that I'm not limited and sitting still when, one commodity begins to dry up or get too saturated. Or number 3 in the 5 tips to becoming a top wage earner in truck driving is that health is wealth. Truck drivers aren't really known for being the healthiest. And when you take into consideration that we spend hours and hours driving and sitting for most of the time, it's easy to accumulate, pounds and unhealthy habits. Not to mention the fact that truck stops aren't, all that well stocked when it come to healthy options and food. So a lot of times guys just be on the run and they got to do what they got to do. And when you let a few months go by, you look up, you done gain 10, 15, sometimes 20 or even more pounds, right? So the same way trip planning is the foundation to a good route, health planning is the foundation for a long and prosperous career. Exercise, adequate sleep, and meal prepping are 3 secrets that a lot of truck drivers don't know that can help you be a better driver because it's going to give you a lot more endurance. So when you're out there on the road and you're able to drive for long periods of time because you in top efficient health, that's going to make you more of an asset to the company. And that's going to also make you earn more money, right? That's how you got to look at it. When you're working for a company or whether you're working for a customer, you got to remember that you need to be an asset. And if you don't view yourself as an asset, you're not going to take the steps necessary in order to make yourself more proficient. Yet again, remember the goal is how can I make more money? I don't know about everybody else, but I came into truck driving to make money. So I'm always asking myself, what can I do in order to be more proficient? And the healthier you are, the better you can perform, the better your awareness, the better your alertness. And all of those are invaluable in the world of truck driving. If you made it this far, I just want to say shout out to you. And thanks a lot for tuning in. And I would ask that if you found the following tips so far to be useful and helpful to you, that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time we bring a new video to give you more skills that can make you more prosperous, more profitable, and more abundant in the world of truck driving, because this has been life-changing for me, and I just want to share the skills that I've learned along the way. So if you like what I'm doing, man, support the cause. Please go ahead and, click something, man. Leave a comment so that I can get part of that algorithm, and it don't cost you nothing if you feel like I'm bringing value to you and your career. Number 4 is time management. Everybody pretty much know in the world of truck driving that the FMCSA prescribe a certain amount of time limitations. Everybody had the same 14, the same 11, got to stop after 8. I don't got to be redundant. Y'all pretty much know that there are time restrictions. And if your wheels are not turning, then you're not earning. So you want to utilize time management, because the number one culprit to why truck drivers are not top wage earners is because they don't manage their time efficiently and effectively. You don't want to have to stop at a truck stop every 30 minutes. You don't want to have to keep using the bathroom. You don't want to, when you go into the truck stop, you get, you lose track of time, or you get stuck in line trying to order food, right? So I'm not saying that to create pressure, because there are some drivers who be out here on the road who feel like they can't ever stop and take some time. And that may mean that you're not with a good company. If they pressuring you like that, you don't want to be unsafe. You want to be within your comfort. But the only way that you can do that is if you manage your time effectively and efficiently. And that's why trip planning is so important. But one of the things that separate the top earners from the guys that's only doing average or only bringing in a low amount of income is because they're not out here playing. Every time they get in that truck, they out there to handle business. Every time I get in my truck, I'm here to handle business. I'm not here to sightsee. That's just a bonus. That's a perk. I'm not here to test out different foods. That's just a bonus. That's a perk. But if it come down to me delivering my load on time, or me getting off the road on time so I can find adequate parking and get a shower or be able to chill or be able to call the family, right? I know that I have to manage my time effectively and efficiently so don't none of those things become time zappers or obstacles throughout my day. And if you don't put any forethought into that through trip planning, you'll find yourself at the mercy of the clock all the time, or you'll always feel like you don't have enough time. And most of the time, it's plenty of time. Everybody got the same amount of time, even though people don't make the same amount of money. That should tell you something automatically. The fifth and final tip in regards to the 5 tips to becoming a top wage earner in truck driving is awareness. And this one is very, very significant. You'll be amazed at how many drivers been driving for years. I mean, even more than a decade, who know nothing about truck driving outside of the equipment that they pull. And let me translate this for you. The less you know in regards to truck driving, the less options you have in regards to truck driving. Even to the extent to where I remember I ended up filing bankruptcy with my truck driving company because I was basically handcuffed to a drive-in trailer. I knew nothing whatsoever about other equipment. I knew nothing about the type of income they were able to generate. So if you find yourself in truck driving school, you might as well go ahead and study those extra few pages to get every one of your endorsements. Don't limit yourself. Be able to do anything in regards to truck driving. And even if you are already driving a truck and you've only been, pulling drive-in, or you only been driving tanker, or you only been pulling containers, remember that every commodity has its season. So the more you know about truck driving, the easier it is for you to pivot or to sidestep into another sector so that you're not limited. If what it is that you're doing becomes oversaturated, if what it is that you're doing dries out completely, you're not going to be able to do anything else. And then that's when you're going to be blaming truck driving, or that's when you're going to say the industry is dried up. All of the guys that I know who do pretty well, they're not just stuck with one sector. They're not just stuck with one commodity. They can shift. They're fluid. They can do whatever. And as you gain that experience and learn more about the equipment, that's going to make you more of an asset to the company or to the customer, whichever one you decide. So that's the 5th tip. So whether you thinking about getting into truck driving or you a seasoned veteran who just don't have a lot of experience outside of what it is that you do, these 5 tips can be helpful to you, and I guarantee you they'll put you in the fast lane to earning top wages. A lot of people, when they get their job, they're asking what it is that the job offer. But when you possess these skills, you can negotiate. You can demand more money because you're aware, conscious, and cognizant of what you bring to the table. So hopefully these 5 tips helped you. And if you're looking for more advice, if you're looking for more tips, they'll be coming soon. Make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we're going to be rocking out, man. Remember, if them wheels ain't turning, you ain't earning. Signing out, it's your boy Sport Mode. Thanks for tuning in.